Hello everyone, and welcome to a video where we'll be talking about exporting of food products from Northeast India, specifically targeting to the European Union and North American markets. I'm Gunajita Brahma, a serial entrepreneur with about 2 decades of experience in entrepreneurship and agri business specifically, and about 5 years of experience in exporting to the European Union, where we are exporting spices primarily of Northeast India origin, and we are giving it to our clients across Europe. So this format of the video would be that if the time permits, I'll be talking about the entire video at length about various policies and steps to become an exporter of food products. If the time does not permit and the video becomes too lengthy, I might cut it short, and then in parts we'll be uploading the videos in 2 parts. Let's see how it goes. And welcome to my channel, which is a very new channel, and I hope that you like the content that I'll be putting in it, mostly related to entrepreneurship and all, specifically targeting to the entrepreneurs, the future entrepreneurs of the northeastern region. So without further ado, let's start the video. So to become an entrepreneur or a food entrepreneur or a food business which is looking into export market, first we have to register ourselves as a business entity. Mainly there are type of businesses that you can register. As an individual you can do proprietorship, but if you are more than 2 people or two or more than 2 people, then you can go for a partnership or a LLP, limited liability partners, or a partnership firm, or a private limited company. Note that it actually is of a importance what kind of business structure or type you consider for your to register your business, because that also impacts in the longer run. In my experience that I have seen, it impacts on the longer run on terms of how the payment or how you will be perceived or your business will be perceived in front of the importing countries or importing clients. Typically a private limited company, which is a registered entity and has all the legal paperwork that's get done, has a better what do you call better perception in front of the client or the importing countries, rather than comparison to a proprietorship, which is a individual and just starting the business on their own. But if you don't have any partner or don't have any director and wants to try it out, then obviously proprietorship would be a better option, and it is cheaper proprietorship firm per se. But then private limited has its own advantages and disadvantages, similarly to other business types like partnership or LLP. So do consider it what kind of business you want to start, and then subsequently you get it registered as such. After the business gets registered, then you go for a PAN card registration in the business name. Once you have the PAN card, which hardly I think takes 700 rupees right now, online you can get it. After the business is registered with the registered address and all, everything can be done through a CA's help. Chartered accountant can help you out with the business registration as well as the PAN card. Then after your online PAN card has been registered and you receive the PAN number, you can set up a bank account. The bank account has to be a current bank account, with preferably with EEFC account option. EEFC is exporter exchange foreign currency account. If you're targeting, let's say, European Union, then obviously the currency that goes over there uses over there is euro. So you can have a EEFC euro account, which will be a separate account than your current account, Indian current account, where you will be transacting in rupees. EFC will be either a dollar account or a euro account, where you can collect the money in that particular currency, and then subsequently within a grace period of 45 days, up to 45 days or 60 days, I forgot the exact timeline, you can remit it in your Indian bank account. The advantage of a EEFC is that you get a grace period of around 45 to 60 days time, wherein if you are doing import as well as doing export, then you can utilize the fund to give the money to your vendor wherever they are from other countries, or you can use this money to for a foreign exchange benefit. Suppose the dollar value today is, let's say, 82 rupees. Tomorrow the dollar value is 83 rupees, and then deposit is happening today itself. But then if you have a EFC account, you have an advantage of waiting for the appreciation of dollar in terms of Indian rupee, and subsequently uh, get a better deal or get more money out of it. So those are few tricks that we as a exporter use with the EFC account. Otherwise, you can just have a basic bank current account wherein directly you can get the money transferred to your business by your client. Then after that, you have to apply for DSCs, digital signature certificate. Again, I mean, if you have a company structure is partnership firm, then you have a separate paperwork is required for partnership firm. So partners identification number will be there. For private limited company, there are two directors, so director identification number will be there. So those will be there per se. But then after that, you have to obtain a DSC, which will be at least one will be required if you are two people or more than two people coming together to set up the business. At least one person should have a DSC. It could be both. Either way, I mean, both are better. A class 3 DSC will anyway be required for filing or for getting paperwork done for all the activities that we are doing. There is a specific DSC by DGFT, Director General Foreign Trade, which will be coming on the next part. So where it is used specifically for, so there are certificates like certificate of origin and others, which you can use. And you need to have a DGFT DSC specifically for those. So if you are exporting and you are planning to do export on a larger scale, or uh, as the only source of your income, then DGFT based DSC is mandatory or is preferred to have it. Then second thing, after the business is registered, you have all the paperwork done and the signature certificates, DSCs and all are obtained. You can apply for a IEC, importer exporter code, which is a 10 digit numerical number. As of now, I think it's 10 digit. Maybe they might change the format later on. And then this IEC is actually mandatory for all goods exporter, since we are discussing about agriculture commodity, which will be all goods only. There won't be any services also, there are some exemption, but obtaining a IEC is kind of mandatory for all goods exporters. So the website is dgft.gov.in, and the document required is the PAN card that you have obtained for your business, which in the initial stages, and then the address, and then one bank certificate or a cancel check, which will get it from the bank account. And then the fee for obtaining a IEC code is around 500 rupees currently. I mean, 2025 April, it's rupees 500 plus 18% GST. So just to give you a heads up that I have prepared the slides, mostly the slides. I'll be running the slides in a AI called Gamma, which helps in preparing the slides per se. And then I've used some amount of ChatGPT as well as other AI tool to get the content of the presentation, the text and all the AI has prepared. But note that this entire slide is not about how AI is preparing the slides or what I'm talking, but then it's more about the experience that I'm going to share with you over the course of what 5 years I have learned about exporting goods to European Union or Northern America, right? So that's why I would appreciate that you use the tools and then still listen to the whole slide or the presentation that I'm sharing. So once you have the IEC code, then you can go for Export Council certification or registration. It's, I think, registration cum membership certificate. For agri commodity, apart from tea, coffee, spices, you have to go for APIDA registration. They have an office in Northeast India. They have an office in Guwahati, regional office. I think they have a branch offices mostly in or at least some one person branch officer in each of the northeastern 8 states, apart from the regional office in Guwahati. If you are working in spices, which are dry form of a product, then you have to have a registration with a spices board. Again, for coffee, the coffee board will be there. For tea board is there. For coconut board is there, some like that. So specific product has a specific export councils from where you can do the registration. I am not covering handloom and textile and other handicraft in this video. Maybe if you require, please comment on the video, then if required, I'll be presenting or creating a separate video specifically for handloom and handicraft. Although my personal experience is not there, but I can ask around with the entrepreneurs who are doing export of those products, handloom and handicraft, and subsequently create a video for you guys. Again, for RMRC, you need the IC code, which we have recently obtained in the previous slides. And then again, PAN card, registration certificate, and bank details will be required. Again, the website will be there, either EPIDA if you require for vegetables and fruits and other product, including rice. Then you have to go with EPIDA registration. And then if you are going for spices, Indian spices is the Spice Board website where you have to go for the RMRC registration. Once you have that registration done, or in the simultaneously, you can also go for a food license registration, which is again mandatory for all food businesses, whether you're doing it within India or outside or exporting it. Then you have to apply for food licenses based on the business type, whether it's a partnership, proprietorship, or a private limited company. You have to apply separately, and the fees are separate. That's why I'm telling you that. And then we have to go for both the central as well as state licenses. You can have the state license for, let's say you are from Assam or you are from Manipur, then you can have a state license for your food business in the state of Manipur. Their fees might be a little bit different as per the region, but then you have to have a central license also specifically for export of food product. So both the licenses are required. Export license, central license, I think for private limited company is 7,500 plus GST, I think. And I guess for state license specifically, we are registered, my company is registered in Assam, so we have, our registration is, I think 2,000 rupees was the old one, I guess. Now it might have increased per year. I'm talking about the 8,500 for central is per year, and then 2,000 rupees per state is per year, plus the other charges, GST charges, and maybe a small amount of payment gateway charges will be levied. So FSSAI is also mandatory because otherwise your few custom agents and other won't be able to send the goods outside. Other kind of licenses that you are required up for agriculture commodity, which are mostly 0% GST. If it's fruits and vegetable, you don't need a GST license registration. But if you're going for a spice or grains or pulses and other product, oil, then 5% GST will be there. So that's why you have to go for a GST registration. The advantage of GST registration is that you can claim a input tax credit at a later stage. Let's say you are a trader, you are buying the product from somebody else, then that business is charging you 5%. Let's say it's a spice, like Lakadong turmeric. Let's take an example of Lakadong turmeric. So we buy Lakadong turmeric from a farmer or a vendor in Meghalaya. So they are charging us 5% GST on that. But GST we cannot charge to our client because a client is outside the country, so they don't have to pay GST. They will not pay GST. So that will be zero. But then you have paid GST to your supplier, right? So to take a credit of that, tax credit of that, you go for a GST registration, and then later on you can claim that GST input tax credit after you can show that the good that you have purchased is specifically for us for export, and you have the proof of other paperwork like shipping bill and others to claim that the amount, the GST amount only will be refunded. So that gets refunded or back into your GST account. So other registration that you will require is ICEGATE registration. ICEGATE.gov.in is the website portal. Government India's import export portal is there. It's another portal wherein you have to get registration, where you get a AD code registration. IC with IC number you can get registered to the ICEGATE portal. Then you get a AD code registration, which AD code will be given by authorized dealer code, which will be given by your bank, the number and all detail, and then one bank certificate will be given. So you have to upload those document in ICEGATE portal. Then you have to link your DSC, digital signature certificate. You will get a pen card, pen drive or a token with the DSC. So you have to put in your laptop or your desktop, and then get a DSC linking done in the website. So the process is a little bit lengthy, so I'm not going to in detail of in that. If you want later on, if you feel that you are not able to do so, then either check out other videos or go for a Google search. Otherwise, if you want me to do it, then please let me know in the comments, and then I'll try to showcase a small video on how to get IceGate registration done. And then you have to do the selection of ports. If you're sending by ship, so obviously the ports in the Indian peninsula, you have to select. Let's say we do shipment through Nhava Sheva port in Mumbai. Navi Mumbai, JNPT is also known as Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. So that port, or we can get a Mundra port, which is in Gujarat. Or for air cargo, we can do it through either Kolkata port or Delhi port. And I have heard that for fruits and vegetables, we can do right now through Guwahati airport also. So all the paperwork for fruits and vegetable can be done in Guwahati airport. For spices, right now they don't have any facility over here that way. So it needs to go to one of the major ports in the country. Like we send it through New Delhi airport if it is spices, and if it's going by air. If it's going by ship, then we send it to Mundra port or Mumbai port and get our paperwork done there itself. Then there are few product certification that you can go for. Phytosanitary is obviously mandatory certificate. Plant quarantine office is there in the Chandmari in Guwahati. You get, or online you can apply for it. PQMS is the portal name. I think I'll put the links in the description of this video, and so that you can have a easier access to those certification, or the link of the website where you can go get those certifications. Specifically for Northeast based products, since these are high quality product, organic certification, if you can get, please go for organic certification. Why I'm telling you is that most of the food products of Northeast are of high quality, and then targeting a low income country or a medium income country which does not appreciate good quality food product is of no value to you or to us. Example, like poor countries who buy product in the lesser price will not appreciate the price of the or the quality of the Northeast based food product, and they will not pay for those also. That's why our company has targeted only European market as well as North American market, because buyers in those markets pay the premium for specifically organic or exotic food product that we from Northeast can supply, right? So those certifications help in giving you the quality that the product is of higher quality. And apart from that certifications, then you can go for also other certifications like good agriculture practice certification, GAP certification. Then we have clients in Netherlands who ask us to pay a fair trade price to our farmers that we work with. Fair trade pricing is like 15 to 20% higher than what farm gate price they are getting, the farmers are getting. So we pay a premium price. For that also, there is official certification that you can apply, which is called fair trade certification, wherein you have to show that the invoice value, I mean, you have paid 15 to 20% higher than the invoice value, and then the organization will issue a certificate for that fair trade certificate. Apart from the certification, which anyway will tell the quality of the product, there are few laboratory tests that needs to be done. Our client in Europe asked for microbial testing, where in the estimation of around 10-15 parameters of microorganisms are being tested. Then physico-chemical tests are also done, like how much what is the physical characteristics of the product, what is the color, how much pH is there, whether it's a powder form or not. All those parameters are there. And then heavy metal tests are there. I think around another 8 or 10 heavy metal tests are being conducted by our client for of Northeast based product. And then for organic, also for other client who although don't want a certified organic, but they want to prefer higher quality product, they go for a pesticide residue test. For European Union, it is like 500 plus parameters are there. For North America, it's around 220 parameters. But then now FSSAI has made it mandatory for Indian exports to have at least 180 parameters. Even for domestic, there are officially actually 52 to 100 parameters are there for food product. But then if you're selling, let's say, to Vietnam and other countries, or to Middle East, where officially they don't ask for any parameter, but then it is good to have a this FSSAI based parameter, which can go for either 50 parameters or 120 to 150 parameters. And then right now, because of there were some World Trade Organization based, WTO based challenges, as well as in the countries that we are exporting earlier, there were some bans imposed by Europe and North America for Indian goods, food products. So now ETO, ethylene tetroxide, I think. So ETO tests are also made mandatory by those countries. So ETO test is mandatory for mostly the spices. All the spices has to go through ETO testing. I think food product also for paddy, for rice, I think ETO is mandatory. I'm not sure whether it is mandatory for fruits and vegetables. Please check with APIDA on that. If it is mandatory, we have to get it done as well. So these tests, a few of the tests are mandatory. That provides the quality product, and as well as it increases the value of your company also in the eyes of your client or customers, right? So we spend around 50,000 to around 80,000 rupees only for test certification. Are altogether a different ball game. Only for laboratory tests for each of the product that we export, the testing and all cost us around 50 to 60,000 rupees per year per product. I'll later on I'll share details about how you can get subsidies or some benefit in testing fees or reimbursement in testing fees. Okay, now we go to the export documentation process, wherein the kind of documentation that you need to have a minimum and the terms that you need to understand. You can go deep dive. I will not go deep dive into that because otherwise the video will become a lecture session and it will be more than 1 hour video. If you want separately, then we can have a separate video on pre-shipment, post document, shipping documents separate in a separate video itself. But ideally, what pre-shipment document would be required is that you have to have a pro forma invoice based on the purchase order or sales contract given to you by the client. This purchase order is typically required not only for the export shipment, but then also documentation by bank as well as your agent that will be exporting the goods. So they might ask for this purchase order or a sale of contract. Then if your client is giving advance, then the advance is there. But otherwise, if the client is saying that they will give a letter of credit, which is a banking term, but then it is used mostly for instead of giving you cash component as advance, they will give their bank will give a letter of credit to your bank, wherein there will be few components or few milestones kind of a milestone kind of a things that you need to achieve, so that once the goods reaches the destination, then you get the money or the 100% of the payment you get after the delivery of the goods. Again, the terms will be highlighted in the letter of credit itself. So it's between you and the client and the banks in between. So you get a escrow account, the money will be put in the escrow account of the total invoice value. Then you can use the escrow account's money or get a loan on the letter of credit. So there are financial products involved where you can use the take a advance up to 80%. There are banks who will give you up to 80% on the invoice value, and then use that money to fulfill the order without taking any cash from the client. But European, luckily we have been for most of our all of our client has been giving us advance, and then we used in our business we use that advance to procure the goods and then supply the material and then get the rest of the payment after delivery. Then you need to have also a packaging list, which is a document which will detail about what are the kind of material you have put, what are the kind of packaging you have used, and then the dimensions of the packaging, how much the overall size of the packaging, the net weight, the gross weight, everything. And also a certificate of origin. As I mentioned earlier, the DGFT DSC is required to apply for certificate of origin. There are other export councils that you can apply certificate of origin from, like FIEO is there, ICCs are there, and then obviously APIDA, spices board, tea board, whatever board you are associated with, or your exported product is associated with, you can apply for a certificate of origin from them. And then quality and inspection certificates will be required. Like for example, for spices, for few of the spices we need, for all of the spices we need to get a health certificate issued by the Spices Board of India. To issue the health certificate, there are few parameters. Like for spices, specifically for, since we gave the example of Lakadong turmeric, for Lakadong turmeric, since it falls under turmeric, so turmeric powder, let's say we are exporting to Europe, so then the to get a health certificate, they will take sample from the lot that we are sending, and then random sampling will happen, and they will take some of 500 gram to up to 1 kg from that lot, and then they will do testing. So for, I think, turmeric, the mandatory tests are Sudan test for adulteration of the Sudan dye, which typically northeast I don't see anybody using it, but then typically it is used mixed. The dye is mixed in turmeric powder, so that gets tested by the Spices Board of India, and then they will also test for, I think, aflatoxin. That test, I'm not sure if. I think the aflatoxin test for turmeric. For ginger, they will test aflatoxin, and some other test, calcium carbonate they test. So this kind of specific product will have specific test by the inspection or the agency that is controlling the goods. Like for spices, Spice Board, right? So similarly, they will issue the health certificate or inspection certificate, quality certificate after the passing of the parameters. So for Europe, the Sudan test is mandatory for turmeric. Let's say for you are selling the turmeric to African markets, then Sudan test is not mandatory. So again, it's region wise, the test differs. So you go to a Spices Board website and then check the list. So they will have a list, or talk to your Spices Board officer or APIDA officer to know about the country or the region, and then specific certificates that they require. Once you have all the paperwork done and the material is ready to go, then you have the shipping documents, which is like commercial invoices are there, bill of lading is there if it is through shipment, I mean through the ocean freight or sea freight, and then air bill will be there for air freights. Then we have shipping bill of export, which will be having for both. This documentation needs to be uploaded in ICEGATE, either by you or the freight forwarder that you'll be using. Then there are export declaration form also, not for all the items, but then most of the item they will require. And then insurance certificate if you are going for an insurance of the product. So okay, so apart from once you have all the paperwork understood, then there are ways to know the market, and then how to identify the buyers and all. If you want me to tell you about this in detail, so please comment on the video, and I'll be giving you detail about how we have targeted the European countries and what are the buyer requirement that we have fulfilled. And then it will be more of an experiential video, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes long. Meanwhile, for European market, European Union market, there is a registration called EU Rex. It's a registration of exporter. It's a portal, EU Rex portal. There you have to fill up the form, and then subsequently they will give a form A that needs to be signed by the export council. It could be that whatever, Spices Board, APIDA, otherwise, and then uploaded by them to the EU Rex portal, linking your company or your business with the EU Rex registration, which is the form B part, right? So form A and form B will collectively, then after that you will get a E-Rex registration number, which can be used for exporting goods to the European Union. That way your goods will get a preferential treatment in the European Union, saying that you are a legitimate exporter and has been doing business with Europe or planning to do business in Europe. For EUREX, you can include all the item that you want to do export, including non food item, and then get a single EUREX registration. You don't have to get multiple EUREX registration for multiple product. One single registration is more than enough under your business name. And then the better advantage of EU market is obviously that their quality conscious customers are there, mostly the European Union. The premium markets like Germany, France, Netherlands, UK, etc. and then these markets will pay a premium for the product that we are selling from Northeast. North America, mostly US is a premium market again. And then, but then the paperwork and everything are entirely different. So it's again, yeah, one video can be made for what the kind of paperwork is required specifically for North America or for Europe. But then these are the two good markets that we have. In Southeast Asia, ASEAN market, I think Singapore, Australia is somewhat a medium to good market for Northeast based product, where few segment will go for high or premium quality. Middle East also is a good market if you are targeting or if you have direct contact with retailers who are targeting the local people in Middle East. So that if you're targeting, if you're have a client who are targeting the affluent sheikhs of Middle East, then that is a good market to go. Also for other markets, you can go for if the and check the free trade agreement that are there between India and between that particular country, to see if the goods can be exported on a easier basis. So India, let's say India has a free trade agreement with Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, as well as with ASEAN countries, so it is easy to do business with them. But then again it depends on the kind of product that we are dealing. Let's say we are dealing normal grain, right? White grain. But white grain is a very staple food for China, for the ASEAN countries. But then also they are also one of the larger producers of this product. So although free trade agreement is there, then chances of getting a good export market for that might not be there. So that you have to see. Also check out the tariffs, the demand trends, and packaging norms of this. Packaging again is a very large subject in itself. Fruits has a different norms of packaging. The vegetables has a different norm of packaging. For spices, we use a very different norms of packaging, which is on a premium side as compared to other companies, because our client are premium clients. So then again, you have to understand the international trade HSN codes or HS codes, and then specific HS codes will be either could be trade exempted, and then other HS codes might not be. So you just know what are the HS codes for each of the product that you are planning to export. As I mentioned, for packaging, there are international packaging standards. So APIDA has their standards specifically for fruits and vegetables. They have a very detailed list of packaging, mostly for fruits and vegetables, wherein they have given the dimension of the boxes, how much quantity each box should have. Let's, for example, you are doing fresh ginger and you are exporting to Europe. So then you should have either a 5 kg or a 6 kg packaging box packaging of 5 to 6 kg, with the box having openings, and the box has to have a minimum 3 ply, then up to 5 ply or 7 ply it can go. So again, those very specific, and the dimensions are also there. What should be the length, breadth, and height of the particular box, or should be the minimum length, breadth, and height of the particular box. So that way the specifications are there. Again, for labels, it's ideally good to have labels on the boxes or the bags that you send. So we do packaging in 25 kg bags, so 20 to 25 kg bags depending on the product. So each of the bag we put the detail, our detail as exporter, our client importer's detail, the lot or the batch number, and the net weight and the gross weight. And again, in the packaging detail, let's say the packet is packed on the month of October, and then the year is 2024, then the October 24 will be given. You can give a very detailed date also, maybe for perishables and all. If you give a date, it is very good, because perishables are again very short shelf life, so it is good to give the date also. For spices, month and year is more than enough, because spices like turmeric powder has a shelf life of 12 to 18 months, and we pack it in international packaging, wherein we increase the shelf life to around 24 to 36 months with hermetic bags and moisture absorbs and whatnot. So that way increasing so the packaging detail will be required. And then if you have put the capability, the food traceability, digital traceability is very good, mainly for the European and American market, because the consciousness of the customers, the end customers will be using, not your client, the end consumers that will be using your food, they will be able to know that the product has come from Northeast. So we use NFC based traceability solution, wherein we is a mobile based app, and then you have to scan a an NFC tag, and then the tag will give a detail of all the farmer detail from where we source, including the photo of the farmer, the name of the farmer, the geo positions of the farmer, and all. So traceability is good if you can get it, and then if you can show it to your client, the client will get a confidence that the kind of product that you are doing is of quality and you are genuine in terms of dealing with the farmers, because for European it's a very important thing now, also in with American consumers. And in organic it is now becoming a mandatory protocol to have traceability of the food product that you are trying to either sell in India or you are doing the export. Quickly getting into the logistics of things. The logistics, mostly either way you will be doing a air cargo or a sea cargo freight. As I mentioned, sea freight you can get it done from any of the major ports in the Indian Peninsula. We got it done from Nhava Sheva airport in Nhava Sheva port in Mumbai or Navi Mumbai. Otherwise you can go for Mundra port. Kolkata port is also good, but then again look at the logistics and see, and the convenience of work. We personally we didn't find that port to be more convenient, so we go for a Mumbai port. And then you have to identify a few custom house agents or freight forwarders who will work with you. In Assam right now, as I mentioned earlier, that we have a air cargo shipment possibility for fruits and vegetables in Guwahati itself. And then we have one or two custom house agents also here in Guwahati who can help you with your domestic, the paperwork and all international shipment if it's going by air, and if it's a fruits and vegetable. If it's spices, then you have to go to those ports that I mentioned. We, in our case, we do air shipment. Right now, since we do mostly spices, we are doing air shipment from from New Delhi airport. New Delhi, because they have a larger body airport, larger body flights to most of the European Union, destinations. In Kolkata, we have seen that the flights are a little bit on the smaller size, and Guwahati also is a small body flight only that comes. So sending large pallets of goods, more than 1 metric ton, becomes a little bit of a hassle. As I mentioned, documentation already I have discussed it, like invoice, packaging list, health certificate, CO, billing, bill of lading, and AFA bill will be required or will be created. Your CHA will help you with the bill of lading and AFA bill, but then rest of the documentation you have to create on your own. And then custom clearance, again, if you have a CHA, go for a CHA or a freight forwarder. They facilitate the transactions and very easily. If you try to do everything by yourself, you'll be in a soup, and it will take a lot of time to do so. I mean, we tried to get a ICEGATE registration earlier in the old ICEGATE portal. So it took us 2 months to get the paperwork done or to get the registration done, because DSC, the digital signature certificate, was not working, and I use a MacBook. It was not working at all. We have to get some Windows laptop and go back to Windows 10 to get the documentation. And now the website, ICEGATE website, government portal has upgraded. So now with in Windows 11 PC also or laptop also, you can do the paperwork easily, right? So yeah, go ahead with that. Then quickly on the payment and collection, as well as on the Incoterms. Payment, as I mentioned, letter of credit I have already discussed a little bit, wherein it will be between the banks, between your bank and the importers bank, and then it will be terms will be there, specific terms of engagement, and then the money will be put into the escrow account, and then from the escrow account you can take a credit or a loan from your bank to fulfill the export obligations. We and then go for a wire transfer also. So as I mentioned, current and EFC accounts, you can go there. And as I mentioned earlier, again, European country buyers typically give advance. Again, you have to build a relationship to get the advance. For the first time may not be possible, but then later on subsequently you will get it. In our cases, we were lucky that our client visited Northeast before starting their business, import business. So we have people that visited us, and we took them to the field and showed them our farmers and interacted with them. So that's why our client were very happy to pay advance, because they have seen us, they have met us, they have stayed with us, and they went to the field with us. So they already know us, so they have the trust with us in that. So that way we get advance. Almost for the almost all the clients are giving us advance from the European Union. Then for other, you have to get a foreign inward remittance certificates, and then once some money hits international currency like euro or US dollar hits in your account, you have to go and give a purpose code to your bank, uh, which is a list of codes by RBI, and then the RBI says that these are the among this list, what are the things that you have done and why the money has come to your bank account. So for specifically for forex, so typically it is either purpose code 0102, which is I think for full payment, and purpose code P0103 is for advance. So let's say we are getting a 50, we're getting 20% advance or 50% advance, then we apply for a P0103. I mean, to collect the remittance in Indian rupees, and then later on with the completion of the deal, then the final payment comes in, the rest of the final payment, then we go for purpose code P0102, and then subsequently apply for that. Again, it depends on your bank. Preferably if you go by international bank or good banks like ICICI, SBI, or HDFC, then they will all the paperwork can be done online. But maybe if you go for some small banks or local banks who does not have much of a international exposure or knowledge, then it might create a little bit trouble. So if you are planning for a international business, go for a good bank who can give you all the international facilities. Then there are few Incoterms that you need to know while negotiating your deals with your client. There are a lot of different Incoterms, but basically there are three. One is freight on board. So when you are talking to your client, then you say that freight on board or FOB. So this FOB needs to be subsequented by a name of the port where you will be loading. So let's say you are doing fruits and vegetables. So you can say the FOB is Guwahati, right? So that means your responsibility will be till giving the material to your CHA, custom handling agent, or your freight forwarder till the port of Guwahati. So if you are going for if you are spending the money to include the freight also till your destination, for us most of the freights go from Delhi to Netherlands. If you are going to in Netherlands, Amsterdam airport, so we go for a CIF, cost insurance and freight, and then we pay for the freight, and then subsequently bill it to the client. Or you can also go for cost and insurance, cost and freight, or CNF. Then either way it will be like CNF port name, like CNF Amsterdam or CIF Amsterdam, right? So that way you know that whether your insurance are being paid by you, or it will be given by the client. And then let's say it's a CIF, so your responsibility will be till the goods reaching the Amsterdam port, airport, or Rotterdam seaport, and then so after that the responsibility will be on the client, and then client can collect the goods. There are other terms also which are used mostly by courier agencies like DHL, FedEx and all, wherein delivered DND, I think I forgot the exact term. It's maybe DND, wherein you deliver the goods to your client's home address. So since they have that capability, the FedEx and the DHL has the capability to do so. So then DND and other DOD or DND, those terms can be used, wherein you are delivering the goods at your client's final destination, not on the till the port, right? So those terms can be discussed with your client as and when the services, what are the services they are looking at. Okay, so coming to the last leg of the presentation, one is that for support of Northeast Indian exporters, there are various schemes and policies in place. For fruits and vegetables, again, APIDA has multiple schemes, so I will not be discussing them here. You can go to the APIDA office, talk to your APIDA officer, and get a detailed understanding on the kind of services they are providing, or the schemes they are providing. For spices board, there is a scheme called Spiced Scheme Sustainable Practice or whatever. It is a very long name, I forgot. But then two major highlights from the particular scheme specifically for trader exporter is that you get for the first shipment you get up to 75% subsidy to the end logistics, wherein not the international freight, till let's say you are sending it to Delhi airport. So till Delhi airport, the road transportation cost or freight cost, let's say from Guwahati you are pushing it by air itself to Delhi, and then from Delhi it is going to Amsterdam. So till from Guwahati till Delhi, the air freight charges will be given for one shipment, first export shipment, that particular first product. It's only for first time exporters. Mature exporters like us are not eligible to do for that. But then there are other schemes, there are multiple schemes, but then only talking about two. You can go to the spice scheme in the spices board website and look into all the other schemes. Another scheme is like for organic manufacturers. I think there is a 75% scheme subsidy for organic certification. It is only for the manufacturers. For traders, it is not there. Wherein the fee, 75% of the fee of the certification cost will be reimbursed by Spices Board of India. Then we have leveraging if you want to leverage the support of FPO and SHGs, you can do so by connecting with them, and they get their own benefits which you can leverage in your export business. For STSC entrepreneur, there are few opportunities by NSIC, National Small Industry Corporation, wherein in the website SCST Hub, they have some facilities like lab testing facility up to 1 lakh rupees, or 80% of the lab test will be reimbursed. Most, as I mentioned, European Union, they ask for lab test for the products. So those you can reimburse if you are a STSC candidate, STSC business owner, and you are registered with NSIC. And then for Export Council registration, like for APIDA, you have to have registration, right? 1,000 rupees per year, and minimum is 5-year registration. For Spices Board, I think it is like something like 18,000 or some 15 to 8,000, 18,000, something like that was there. For manufacturer, it's different. For exporter, merchant exporters, it is different. 15,000 plus GST or something like that for first time registration. So those registration up to 80% value can be reimbursed by the through the NSIC. For renewal charges for Spices Board, I think it's lesser. But then you just talk to them, and also go and meet the NSIC office and meet them in Guwahati, and then you can have a discussion with them to look for the schemes. So these are few of the information that I would like to share with you as a fellow entrepreneur from the northeastern region. We have a lot of potential here, but then we are lacking in basic learning, and also entrepreneurship is also a very new subject for the businesses or for the northeast youth. And I'm and then whatever I can contribute, I'm trying to do so through my intervention. So if you have any feedback to give, you can again put a comment on it. And if you specifically want to know something, you can always contact me at hello@gunajit.com. That's my email address. And then and let me know in the comments if you want to know about few more aspects in export business or in entrepreneurship in general. And then if you want any help, I'm happy to help you. And then if you like the video, then obviously do subscribe to my channel, and then like this video, so that I get also encouraged to post more such content. And if you feel that the content are very long, then just let me know. I'll try to make shorter snapshot videos, which is like 3 gaps, or two videos, maybe like 10 minutes each, 5 to 10 minutes, small videos having small clips. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. I appreciate and your hard work that you're doing for making Northeast as a export hub. Let's build the community together. Thank you.